Hello everyone, today we are going to present our research for topic exploring how cognition, intuition and creativity interact to shape human understanding and knowledge formation. So this is our overview. We are going to have introduction, philosophical series, findings, analysis, and conclusions, also the discussions that we provide by ourselves. Let's move on to the next part, which is research problem. Firstly, we want to tell you why did we choose the topic and the research problem. So although cognition, intuition, and creativity are the key aspect of human thinking, their interaction in shaping understanding and knowledge formation is not well understood in the classes especially, so research often treats them separately, but growing evidence suggests that intuitive and creativity insights work together. Growing evidence suggests together with cognitive reasoning to generate new knowledge. Understanding how these processes interact can deepen our view of human learning and innovation. And that was our research problem. Let's move to the research aim part. We are aiming to investigate and interactive mechanisms among cognition, intuition, and creativity, how their interplay contributes to human understanding and the formation of new knowledge. So we are moving into the series from philosophical modern context.
Let's move to the philosophical. I neither know nor think I know. In his dialogues, he shows that real wisdom begins with admitting what we don't know. Knowledge for Plato isn't about collecting facts, it's about self-awareness and reflection. Today, surrounded by technology, data, and instant answers, we often mistake information for understanding. He would remind us that true knowledge still requires humility and moral insight. Aristotle continued this idea, saying the intelligence consists not only in the knowledge, but also in the skill to apply the knowledge into practice, like a doctor who applies medical knowledge to help a patient. In our world of AI, machines can process information, but they cannot apply it with empathy or ethical understanding. Only the practical wisdom, knowing how and when to act, remains uniquely human. Immanuel Kant later argued, thoughts without content, i.e., intuitions without concepts, are blind. He meant that intuition and cognition must work together to form real knowledge. For example, a scientist observing an experiment needs both observation and reasoning to discover the truth. In our digital age, we are flooded with content but often lack real experience. We see nature through screens but really feel it ourselves. Kant's insight reminds us that creativity and understanding grow when perception and reason unite.
Okay, now let's move on our methodology part. We conducted a mini survey for the topic exploring how cognition, intuition, creativity interact to shape human understanding and the knowledge formation. And our participants are students of SDU University, and the number of participants is 20. Also, the method that we use is qualitative methods. Now let's move on our findings. Here in our survey, the first question says, how often do you rely on logical analysis when solving problems? Next page, please. You can see the majority of respondents said that they often rely on logical analysis when they solving problems, and the 28% of participants said that always. Only 14% said sometimes. It means that students consistently depend on logical thinking when they are solving some problems, and it shows logical structure is a dominant approach in learning process. Next page. In the next question, we focused on methods, which method they prefer. You can see the half of the respondents answered. Please, next page. Answered that they use practical examples with applications, while 28% favor structured explanation and the facts. And the smaller of respondents, which 14% chose creative and alternative approaches, and the 7% of participants preferred personal reflection. It means that students mainly learn through hands-on experience supported by structure. And while creative learning exists, it's secondary to practical and organized teaching methods.
So the next question was about processing clear and structured information. Here we can interpret that nearly all participants value structure and clarity, with more than half always needing information to be presented in an organized way to process it effectively. Here you can see that 57.1% of people strongly agreed, and the 35.7% of people agreed that they process information best when it's clear and structured, and only 7.1% of people were neutral and non-disagreed. So let's move on to the next question. The next question is about intuitive decision making. Here we can interpret that most participants tend to trust their intuition when making decisions. This indicates that intuitive thinking plays a significant role in their judgment process, with very few completely avoiding intuitive influence. So the next question is about creative enhancing learning. So here we can interpret that a majority recognize that creativity consistently enhances comprehension and memory, with many always finding creative thinking beneficial for long-term learning. Half of participants agreed, and 28.6% of people strongly agreed that creativity helps them understand and remember new information better, and only 7.1% of people disagreed or were actually neutral.
And in our survey we have the rate questions, and the first one is, was I often know the answer to a problem before I can explain how I found it. So here the majority, 78.6% of respondents rating 3 and 5 learned toward agreement, suggesting that many participants often rely on intuition when solving problems. The most common response was 3, neutral, to slightly agree, indicating a moderate level of intuitive problem solving. So very few participants, there are 40.2% disagreed, mean intuition plays a role for most people, even if they can't always explain it immediately. So the next question was, how confident are you in your creative abilities? So here majority participants agreed or strongly agreed, ratings 4 and 5, that creativity supports understanding and the memory. Only a small minority, 21%, expressed neutral or low agreement. This suggests that most respondents believe creativity has a positive impact on learning and the retention. So the last question, here again most participants rated their creative confidence as moderate to high, ratings 3 and 4, 64.3%. A few participants reported low confidence, rating 1 and 2, and only one person rated themselves as highly confident. This indicates that while creativity is valued, some students may still feel uncertain about their own creative skills.
The next question was, which of the following best describes how you approach complex problems? Half of them reported they first analyze logically, then use intuition and creativity. 21.4% said they use all three simultaneously, while 28.6% follow intuition first, supporting it later with reasoning. That means most respondents always begin with logical analysis before integrating other thinking modes, showing that reason is the starting point of their cognitive process. And the next question was, which factor do you believe has the strongest influence on your understanding? The dominant learning factor, 71.4% identified cognition, that is logic and reasoning, as the strongest factor influencing their understanding, and the others selected intuition and creativity. That means logic is the foundation of learning for the majority. Many participants always rely on rational analysis to make sense of new ideas.
We interviewed several SGU students and asked them a few open-ended questions related to our topic. Now let's watch the video.
Can you tell the time when your intuition helped you to solve some problems?
Yes, of course. But mostly I try to keep balance between cognition, intuition, and creativity, but mostly during final exams, if I don't know the answer, intuition always helps me to find the correct option. And I had one moment, like 1 year ago, intuition helps me to make a really best decision in my life.
Hello, Arelo. How creativity can help you to solve your problems?
So creativity helps teachers to adapt to different methods and to create not simple works, not simple activities among students, among providing demo lessons, for example. And now we are providing demo lessons, so it's the most important skill to develop our lesson.
Оқу процесі кезінде логикалық қабілетіңізге сенесіз бе, әлде интуицияңызға сенесіз бе?
Жағдайға байланысты, бірақ көбінесе логикалық ойлауға логикалық.
Бір мысал келтіре аласыз ба, қандай моментте сіз логикалық қабілетіңізді пайдаландыңыз?
Мысалға, сабақ оқу кезінде көбінесе логикалық тұрғыдан
While learning something new, which method do you prefer? Structured approach or creative approach?
Creative approach.
Why?
Because when you are solving problems, you need to be creative. You have to think a lot.
Okay, moving to the next presentation. Here we can say discussion part. We can divide discussion part into two parts, for and against. The first one is the foresight argues that analytical reasoning and the structured thinking remain central in human cognition. So let's start with the first argument, strong reliance on logic and structure. Talking about the scientific basis, logical analysis ensures accuracy and the consistency in a problem solving. When people think logically, they can check their reasoning and avoid mistakes. For example, there is the result from the survey. According to our results, 57.1% of students strongly agreed that they process information best when it's clear and structured. Also, 71.4% said that logical reasoning has the biggest influence on their understanding. So logic basically gives students a sense of clarity and control in learning. Moving to the second one, there is an argument, effective comprehension through organization. So, relying to scientific basis, structured thinking helps learners connect information step by step, which improves retention, meaning they remember information better. When information is organized, our brain can build connections more easily. For example, also from the results of our survey, according to it, 57.1% of students choose intuition as their main factor, but 42.9% of that said they only use it sometimes when making decisions. This shows that even though intuition is present, most students still rely on structure to understand and remember ideas more effectively. Okay, the third one is creativity enhances understanding. So the scientific basis, according to it, effective creativity actually enhances understanding. When people use imagination, they can look at information from different angles, which strengthens learning. For example, 50% of the people, according to our survey, agreed that creativity helps them understand and remember new information. So according to that, we can conclude that creativity is not separate from logic. It supports comprehension by making learning more meaningful. So moving to the next presentation, we can see here's the discussion against part. So in the against side, we can see that idea is that too much focus on structure and logic may limit intuition and creativity. The first one, underuse of intuition. Scientific basis, according to the information of them, intuitive processing can lead to fast and original insights, but it is often undervalued in structured education. So from our example, from the results of our survey, only 7.1% of the students choose intuition as their main factor, while 42.9% of the set, they use it only sometimes when making decisions. So according to that, we make conclusion that this means that students do not fully trust or use their intuition, even though it can be very effective for them. So the second one is dependence on logic reasoning. So according to the scientific basis, over-reliance on logic can reduce confidence and creativity. If students always focus on logic, they may feel unsure about their creative ideas. For example, 64 0.3% of participants rated their confidence and creativity as a medium, while only 3.1% of the people rated it at their maximum level. So strong logical habits might make students hesitate to take creative risks. So the third one is uneven confidence with the creativity. So according to the scientific basis, limited engagement with creative methods leads to uneven creative confidence. When learners rarely use creative techniques, they don't build confidence in that area. So, according to our example from our participants, only 50% of the students said they often use creative methods like brainstorming or role play, which means that other half rarely do. So, creativity is not consistently developed in learning environments. Okay, one of the most important parts of our presentation, moving to the conclusion slide. To sum up, our survey shows that logic and creativity both play vital roles in shaping human understanding. Logical and structured thinking help us organize and analyze information, while intuition and creativity make learning more flexible, original, and emotionally engaging. Education should not choose between them. It should be balanced both. When logic, intuition, and creativity work together, we get the deepest and most complete understanding of it. So thank you for your attention.